What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We have some news to talk about here today in the world of national sprint car racing, and that is about Garet Williamson. He is the newest outlaw as he joins the full-time list for 2025. Garet Williamson, if you are not familiar, the 24-year-old driver out of Columbia, Missouri. He will be driving the Fisher Motorsports number 23, the same car that he drove in 2024. It's just they're going to be making that big jump up to the national stage. Now, I did a video, I don't know, maybe like 6 months ago, 5-6 months ago, maybe it was less than that, talking about the top 10 drivers that I thought would be the next ones to move up to the national tour, either the Outlaws or High Limit. And Garet Williamson was number one on that list. And sure enough, it actually happened. So we did see this coming for a long time. It sounds like things were kind of on the rocks there for a little bit, but then they got it all back together, and they are going to make a run at it in 2025. And this is a big pickup for the Outlaws, man. You want to try and get more young guys on the tour to try and get them to last for years and years to come, build up their brand, build up their relationship with the Outlaws so that people, when they go to an Outlaw race, they know they're going to see Garet Williamson in 10 years, let's just say, right? Oh, I can't wait to go see Garet Williamson tonight at the Outlaw show. These are the kind of guys they want to try and get on the tour and get them, that fanfare that they're looking for, right? So this is a pretty big pickup for me. I think that Garet Williamson is a very good driver, has not even really burst onto the scene quite yet. He's done some very good things, don't get me wrong, but he still has a long ways to go. I think that the ceiling is very high for this driver, and we're going to see what he's made of next year for sure. So this season, in 2024, he ran a ton of races. He ran 72 times in 2024, 3 wins, 14 top fives, and 28 top 10s was his totals. Now, with the Outlaws, he did make 41 starts with them this year. 7 races he did not qualify for. And I want to mention that because next year, when there's 93 World of Outlaws shows going on, that's going to be something that a lot of people are watching for when it comes to that Rookie of the Year battle. How many DNQs will these guys get? Cole Macedo, Chris Whittam, and Garet Williamson, because 93 races is a lot, right? If you look at what he did this year with 41 starts and 7 DNQs, not exactly what you want to see, but this guy is still learning. He's still young. He's 24 years old. He's been running a 410 for 3, 4, maybe 5 years at this point in time. He did get 1 top 5 finish this year with the Outlaws and 12 top 10 finishes. With High Limit Racing, his fortunes weren't quite as good. 10 starts there, 2 races where he did not qualify and was not able to get a top 5 or a top 10 finish. I think his best run with High Limit was a 14th place run at Eagle Raceway. So definitely was not quite as up to speed with High Limit as he was the Outlaws. But nonetheless, some pretty good numbers there for Garet Williamson, taking on a really, really aggressive schedule in 2024. SprintCarRatings.com, where do they have him at in their ranking system? In 2023, he was 59th overall in the country, and in 2024, he jumped all the way up to the 28th position. So definitely some pretty good improvement there from him when it comes to SprintCarRatings.com. Those 3 wins that he got this year, 2 of them came at the Houston Speedway. The other one was during a Knoxville weekly show. So he has won on the big tracks. He's won on the small tracks. So he doesn't seem to have one that he's particularly worse or better at so far in a pretty small sample size. So his crew chief is going to be Chad Seipert. You might know him as Chatty. That's a name that we heard a lot when Buddy Kofoid was not a full-time World of Outlaws driver. 2023, Kofoid ran the 83 Junior for Roth Motorsports, and Chad Seipert was one of the main guys behind that thing when it came to spinning the wrenches and whatnot. And Chad Seipert also was the crew chief this year on the Heidbreeder Motorsports 19 car that Hunter Schurenberg won a couple of races in at the Lake Ozark Speedway. And so Chad Seipert, he's also worked with Garet Williamson in the past when Williamson was driving his own 24W car. And so these two have worked together before, and now they're going to take on a really, really hard schedule, a lot of races, and we'll see how this pairing works out. But Chatty was able to put a couple of different guys in victory lane here over the last 2 years, including Hunter Schurenberg and Buddy Kofoid. And at one point in time, Kofoid looked very, very good. I'm not talking about this year because he looked obviously amazing, but in 2023, when Chatty was helping him out, he looked extremely good as well. So I think they've got a good crew chief going on here as well. Garet Williamson's best ever World of Outlaws finish, that was last year in 2023. He did finish 3rd at the Knoxville Raceway during the June race, not during the Knoxville National or anything like that, but he had a podium run there at Knoxville. This year, that top 5 finish that he got was a 4th place run during that Huset's Hustle week at the Houston Speedway in South Dakota. So Garet Williamson, plenty of times he's been inside the top 5. He knows what it's like to run up front. He's got very good equipment. The Fisher Motorsports team, they're going to give him everything he needs to be successful out there. And he joins now. That makes it 9 drivers that have committed to the World of Outlaws Tour next year. He joins David Gravel, Sheldon Hodenshield, Bill Baylog, Donnie Schatz, Carson Macedo, Logan Schuchart, the 7S of Chris Windham, and the 2C of, I want to say Wayne Johnson, but Cole Macedo will be those 9 cars right now that they have for the World of Outlaws Tour. And that last thing on the board there, who is your pick to win the Rookie of the Year next season with the Outlaws? Because I feel like it's a really weird dynamic right now. I feel like Garet Williamson and Cole Macedo, maybe I'm crazy for thinking this, but I feel like they're relatively in the same kind of point in their career. They're pretty close in age, right? They've won races, in the Midwest, and Macedo's won races in California against NARC and whatnot. I feel like those two are in pretty similar situations. The one thing that's different for Macedo, though, is he's going to be driving a car that he's only ran a handful of times, I think one time ever before next year, right? So that's the one thing that's maybe going to slow Macedo down a little bit there towards the beginning of the year. But then you look at Chris Windham. I mean, Windham, out of those 3 guys that are running for Rookie of the Year next season, he is the guy that has the most experience running a schedule against, some good competition, right? He ran High Limit last year. He ran the All-Stars for a couple of seasons as well. He's done the traveling up and down the road with USAC as well. So I think Windham has that experience of doing the traveling and doing the grind of things compared to these other 2 guys. And he's also got that experience with Jason Sines. It's been all these tracks with the setup. He's got the notebook and all those things, right? So I don't know, man. I think this is going to be very, very close. If Cole Macedo was running the Tarleton 21, I think it would definitely be the edge to him. But the fact he's in a new car, new team, all that stuff, I think it's pretty damn even right now between those 3 guys. Maybe, I don't know, if I had to give the edge to it right now, I think Garet Williamson would have the edge. He's in a car he's ran for the last year or so, and he's got a guy that he's worked with for a long time in the crew chief role, or at least in the past as well. So I don't know, man. It's definitely a toss-up right now between those 3 guys as to who will be the Rookie of the Year in 2025. But it's going to be fun to watch. The Outlaws have a very good roster already put together, 9 cars so far, and we are still waiting on word from a couple of guys that ran last year. What's Bill Rose going to do? What's Gio Scelzi going to do? What's the Premier Motorsports number 70 going to do? What's some of these other guys going to do that did not run a series last year and we're thinking about it? Will there be anybody else joining the tour? There's still plenty of time for all of that to be worked out. It's only December. The series gets going in February. So maybe we'll see a couple of more guys join the Outlaws. Maybe we'll see a couple more guys, off the wall guys join High Limit. We will have to wait and see, but I want to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think about Garet Williamson joining the Outlaw Tour? What do you think about the Rookie of the Year battle? Who is your pick as of right now that you think is going to win that? Let me know all those thoughts and more down in the comment section. Please hit subscribe, hit the like button as well, and we'll talk to you guys again here tomorrow on the Rodman Rundown.